I don't know if this phrase exists, but this was worth it, yet also a mistake. I don't know how that's the same thing, but it is, and it's the best way I can describe it. Hey, everyone. Adam and Andrew here with It Takes Two Takes. Here to talk about the first two episodes of WandaVision.
Gosh darn it, that was a good opening that you did there, Andrew. I really appreciated that. Just wanted to let you know that.
Adam taking in his carcinogens through a pipe, as it were, back in the 1950s, let's say. And I'm taking in some good old bourbon. And I'm wearing a suit. Thank you to everyone that subscribes to this channel. We recently cracked 100.
It was just swell when I saw it. I was over the moon.
I don't know who else cares. We certainly do. But what we want to do today is talk about WandaVision, specifically episodes 1 and 2, which aired on Disney+. We're hoping at this point you've seen it. There's going to be some spoilers. I don't really know how many spoilers we could possibly give up to this point, but want to call that out while I'm thinking about it. I'll start off with saying we saw the trailer leading up to this series, and really a lot of what was in that trailer, for the most part, was in these first two episodes, particularly the standout visually, the moments that stood out visually to me, which were the sort of callbacks to the older sitcoms. The older sitcoms being like very heavy on Dick Van Dyke Show, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, a little I Love Lucy, those sorts of, that feel. You have the laugh track going. You've got, the wife at home cooking while the husband's the working man, that sort of thing. Really, that consumed these first two episodes. I don't know what you thought of that maneuver and how it took up those two episodes.
It was interesting. It was kind of fun. I understand why they did two episodes, I think, for opening night, because I think if you just did the one, you'd be even more confused than you already are. Obviously, they're stuck in some sort of weird reality type of deal. I can't say it was like exciting episodes. They were fun. I think it was good that they were kind of short because, they're sitcom length. I think they worked for what they were. Yeah, they were swell. I mean, they're all right. I appreciated the moments where there's some their noise outside, and they kind of use that to kind of bridge the two beds become one bed.
Yeah.
Which, if I remember correctly, it was I Love Lucy was like the first sitcom to I think do the both of them in bed type of deal. I could be wrong on that, but I know Lucy was the first one to kind of be pregnant, I think, in a sitcom. So yeah, I thought it was all right. It wasn't anything like gripping or edge of the seat, but it was all right.
Yeah, you mentioned it not being gripping, not being edge of the seat. I felt the same way in terms of it. Definitely from a plot standpoint, it's a bit of a slow burn if we're covering two episodes. I was a little concerned heading into the second episode when I saw that they were continuing on with sort of the sitcom, the laugh track, the black and white, much like this review. We're just going to keep leaning into that with the black and white. Anyway, and I thought, this feels like one of those things that a show would do when they're kind of running out of ideas. And that's not a criticism on this show, but it reminded me of sitcoms really it's sort of in our adult years when you think of like everyone does a musical episode or it's kind of gimmicky, right? And I feel like we've been there, but this show is doing it well enough to where I was engaged, and they are sprinkling in little things here and there. What do I mean by that? Of course, I mean the fact that much like Pleasantville in a way, things are starting to appear in color. We assume that means they're sort of triggering Wanda's reality outside of this perceived reality. We've got the ad breaks, which I thought were interesting. You're alluding to Hydra,
Stark.
And yes, Stark with the toast. Was it Toastmaster?
Yeah.
2000?
The toaster was Stark. The watch was Hydra.
And Strucker,
right? Which
was the evil scientist or whatever you could say that developed Wanda's powers, and she was off against the Avengers with them. So yeah, and then at the end of the cliffhanger at the end of the first episode, of course, which really kind of got me going, all right, where's this going? But they, aside from this beekeeper that comes out of a sewer, they're kind of just, again, it's little nuggets that are happening, and they are clearly moving into Technicolor in the next episode, it seems.
Well, there's someone else that's watching them, right? I mean, that's at the end of the first episode. You pull back, there's a screen, and somebody's got a remote control. Somebody is clearly watching them. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays into future episodes as well.
As those 2 episodes were going on, I felt that I wasn't quite sure if Wanda was in sort of a utopia, like a reality that sort of she created for herself to exist in, or or was she trapped in a way? So was she not wanting to leave, or was she trapped? And I felt like Elizabeth Olsen was doing a good enough job in terms of acting to where it was a little vague. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Yeah, I mean, gee willikers, I was unsure whether or not this was going to be something that predates Infinity War, or if this was something that only it was affecting her after Endgame. Is Vision?
I feel like most people feel it's the latter, but I agree. It's hard to say for sure.
Is Vision just a vision in her mind? I think Vision being a machine, it'd be harder to kind of get him into this delusion as opposed to Wanda, who is obviously very mentally touched. And, maybe someone is tapped into that. It'll be interesting. I don't know what the Beekeeper's all about, other than her saying no and rewinding things. That's the other reason why I think it's more just affecting Wanda. Gosh darn it, I just don't know at this point.
Well, Adam, I'll tell you what. I'm going to have an unfiltered cigarette and not wear my seatbelt on the way driving away from this video review. I'm in my house. I'm not driving away. What's a seatbelt? Children? I don't even know where I'm going with this.
This is clearly a new millennia 1950s, because nobody was smoking.
Nobody was racist. Oh, I'm just saying.
This is true. They had diversity.
They really did. So, again,
and a white suburb in the 50s. So
Wanda could have helped us all out with 2020. Apparently, we could have just had a fine time compared to what we're dealing with today in this reality.
Just don't let her cook for you, because apparently she is not good in the kitchen. I'm just saying, not good in the kitchen from what we saw in that episode.
As much as they loved the era of the 1950s and that sitcom feel, they hit the animated intro, much like Bewitched, and even I Dream of Jeannie. But really, I thought of Bewitched immediately when they had that animated intro. I think it was of the second episode of WandaVision. I'm curious to see how much they're going to play with other eras, because we saw in the trailers, like, it goes into 80s and so forth.
Well, it definitely goes into the 60s. I think they're going to hit like every couple episodes or every other episode, whatever, or every episode after this, it might end up in another decade. I know at some point, based on the trailer, they're going to end up in their original comic book costumes.
Well, I think where I was going with this is I don't have enough outfits to accommodate whatever they're going to do from an episode to episode basis. And I should mention, we don't plan on doing each episode of this series. We just wanted to really capitalize on the fact we could talk about 2, and we'll probably wrap up and talk about the season as a whole. So I want to give everyone a heads up on that one.
We thought, since they're doing a double episode, we'll kind of give our initial thoughts. Then when the season's over, we'll kind of do a recap and, kind of see where things land at that point. And in between, we'll sprinkle in some movie reviews and other content.
Adam, any other thoughts or other phrases in your lexicon while we're in this headspace that is the good old days?
Gosh darn it, I'm just out of it. I think I'm probably tapped. I'm single. I don't have a wife I can smack on the bottom and send to the kitchen for a sandwich. It's 1950s, and I don't have the makings for a Manhattan. So, I'm gonna say that's it for me.
I'm gonna tell my children to invest in Apple stock, Adam. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think we're good. Don't forget IBM. IBM and Apple. Two good stocks.
I don't know if this phrase exists, but this was worth it, yet also a mistake. I don't know how that's the same thing, but it is, and it's the best way I can describe it. So with that said, Adam, get us out of here. Let's go. Let's go.
If you enjoyed this video as much as we did, go ahead and like and subscribe. Comments. Use that thing from the future called social media and share this hip, groovy, neato, swell video with all your friends and family. And we'll see you next time for this network programming of It Takes Two Takes.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time. No, thank you so much. We do appreciate everyone that comments. There are people that I feel like do comment a lot. You know, Attack on Show, Geekly Goods, Diegesis, Twin Talk, and we have Vivek that always is commenting on our Warrior videos. So thank you for that.
There are so many. Let's not forget Ron.
Ron and all of his truck talk. We do appreciate that, Ron. We know you're watching and you're thinking about those trucks.
We got a bunch of humdinger, great group of subscribers. What can I say?
So thank you.